Hello, everyone. We're here today for some Smash Bros, a doubleheader today. My name is Era, also known as Aubrey.
I'm Cheetah Quick 9, and yeah, we have a double header today. So we have one now against Manchester, and then we have one later at 10:30 against Bethel.
Will this be a single stream? Who knows?
I don't think it will be, so you guys might have to tune back in, because I can tell you we're probably gonna want to break in between hand, because oh boy, these are gonna be games.
Well, it might be a single a stream, but there's a 5-minute rest break, and then
I don't know. Either way, I'm getting a break in between
back
these.
soon.
This is gonna be funky.
But if you don't know, Manchester is the best team in the Smash Bros. GLEC conference.
Yep, they are seeded one. They have won at least last semester, I believe,
Yes.
and then I believe they have a longer streak. Something about GLEC is that the top team is Manchester, and that hasn't really been disputed. But the second team, the second and third team, have always been up for dispute.
Yep.
And we've been that once, and we've also not been that one multiple times. So we are looking to give Manchester a challenge here. So this is, of all the matches that we've had, this is one that definitely could go Game 3.
Yes, definitely can go Game 3, especially since we do have Alex back on the link. Honestly, expect some long games today. That is a warning. We're going to try our best to commentate for it.
See, here's the problem with that, though. So there's... On Manchester's roster, there is a Kazuya Mishima, there is a Terry, and there is a Spieth, who I believe actually goes Enderman, which is kind of funny. But, so, those are 3 characters that will absolutely kill you if they touch you once. They are, and you can tell because they're DLC characters. Anyway.
DLC character moment?
So, what we're going to be trying to do is slow those interactions down, so that's where the long games come in, but at the same time they get one hit and that's a stock pretty much. So these games actually might end up being average length just because we're trying to lengthen them.
It rounds out because Valpo's lengthening, Manchester's shortening, and it just goes average.
The thing is, I'm not even joking in that I've seen it happen multiple times. Mostly with Kazuya, and they have one of those, so
that is lovely.
I don't like Touch of Death characters because I don't have any of that.
You could. There's literally one character that I feel like you could definitely main because it's from your favorite game series that is a DLC character.
I mean, I do like Minecraft, but I'm not playing Steve.
I was talking Aegis, but okay.
Yeah, but they also aren't a Touch of Death character.
They are pretty good though.
They are very
broken.
good. They are very good, but they're not touched to death, which is sad because characters like this, like Kazuya Mishima, as we get into the game here, really only need max of about 3 openings of stock to take it. And that's max. So
we didn't really need to talk about who we were sending in first because for us it was kind of we kind of knew beforehand who we were sending in.
Yeah, but here we see Alex against Kazuya. Did pick a fairly large stage. My only danger here is that the center stage is going to look a lot like FD for Kazuya, but does give Alex some refuge on the platforms to get away. And, Alex is going to want to slow this game down quite a bit, limit the amount of interactions that he has to take with Kazuya Mishima because of this. You got hit once and you're dead. But he's actually not because Kalos is huge. This is where the stage picks come in. It might be FD in the center, but large blast zones that gives him some safe spots on the platform.
This was a really good pick for Alex right here. You can see that he is using the full range, those 2 platforms, incredibly well. He knows right now that he doesn't really have a chance. Nice bomb though, unfortunately missing the boomerang right there. That was definitely going to help him out right there.
Yep. Alex knows that although he has the percent differential, if he approaches, that's going to happen. Being close to Kazuya Mishima is an absolute death sentence for any character, and Link especially doesn't want to be close to his opponent that much anyway. So he wants to stay as far away from this demon as possible.
Yes, his best bet right now is that boomerang. Trying to get that stun in with the bomb will definitely give him a better chance. of actually dealing damage against Kazuya.
Yep, and it seems like this Kazuya does know that camping is the game plan, is trying to do his anti-camp projectile, which I don't know why they needed to give a touch of Death Fighting Game character an anti-camping projectile, but sure, why not, I guess.
Why not?
Because, I mean, they paid $5.99 for him. He needs it.
But regardless, he is actually managing to do some damage. Not getting in there, getting that damage right now. Unfortunately,
Nice air dodge. Messed up the combo there. But we see here how effective slowing down the game against Kazuya is. Because if Alex was rushing in here and just trying to press at his advantage, he'd be getting intangibility through. He'd be getting comboed. He'd be taking 70-80% per combo, which he already has been, but those combos have been far and few between the chip damage that he's been getting. But if he didn't, this game would have already been over.
Yeah, using his bomb as a recovery was the only way he was going to make it back there, but he's been working on that very well. Very nice.
Yep.
Nice grab.
Yep, just trying to rack on some damage here. This is really all you can really do until you can go for a kill move, and you're dead.
Yep.
Yep. Trying to just chip away at Kazuya is really Link's only true option here. Is just trying to chip away, get some chip damage, so eventually you can go for a kill setup.
Who do you think would be the best person against Kazuya?
Oh man, that is a very difficult question. There's a lot of things that Kazuya has.
Like especially in our roster, who do you think would be probably best choice?
Honestly, probably me, but I'm not going in today, so.
Yes, we are aware of that.
Yeah. See, it's difficult to say because Alex doesn't want to stay close. He has a lot of projectiles though, but his projectiles are mostly chip damage. He can't kill very well, and it's not a huge amount of damage by itself. And he SDs. He does accidentally use his jump there, but trying to use Link's projectiles against Kazuya is quite difficult because they're only chip damage. They're not very high damage, and Kazuya gets in once, completely undoes all of your work.
Yeah.
But then in turn, if we send in Chris with the Captain Falcon, who I do not think Chris is going Captain Falcon here.
There's no way.
I do not believe it.
I don't think that's a good option. Even though that is his his best character, I think in his opinion and in my opinion,
and in all of our opinions,
I don't think he's going.
I don't think he's going Kazuya, but I don't think he's going Captain Falcon. But honestly, I wouldn't be. I'm expecting Chris to go the Wolf, but I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we saw a Cloud.
That would be interesting.
I wouldn't be terribly surprised.
Cloud is interesting. He was very much so. He was like very high tier in Smash 4.
Oh, he was broken in Smash 4. That's why he was top tier.
Before we continue, it's Signaze. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, in Smash 4, he was broken. And then in Ultimate, they just kind of hit the nerf button and just spam clicked it.
No. They just hit the base roster button because he's no longer DLC now, so he is a little worse. But you know who is DLC? Kazuya Mishima. And you can tell because he did 100 in a single combo and killed off of it.
You want to know who else is a DLC character moment?
Speeve.
Who else?
Terry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their entire roster.
Yup, their entire roster is all DLC characters who will touch to death you.
So this is an interesting choice.
This is an interesting choice.
You may have seen our reactions. We just looked at each other like, was that a misclick? What just happened there?
You know, it is the character that Chris is most confident in, and you know, Kazuya's biggest weakness is one, approaching if you have projectiles, but Link has a bit of the weakness of chip damage only, but his other weakness is his disadvantage. He doesn't have a huge amount of get out of jail cards, except that apparently. And Chris almost died. He only lived because the execution was messed up. Anyway, but Kazuya's biggest weakness is going to be his disadvantage state. He's a big body, although he is the 8th heaviest character in this game for some reason. But
definitely, he needed that.
yeah, he needs it.
Of course.
Yeah, but His disadvantage is pretty bad, so if Chris can just get him into disadvantage and just absolutely Captain Falcon combo him, that is definitely a workable option.
Yeah. So looking at this, this is actually fairly even. Unfortunately, though, any one of Kazuya's moves will most likely kill right now. But the good news is Chris is gotten Kazuya actually down to 91%, which is really nice.
Nice down tilt, but now has to deal with Rage Drive. No, he doesn't. Nice run off Nair.
Nice.
He is at incredibly high percent against Kazuya, too. Yeah, he's dead. I'm surprised he's alive.
Chris, you are living on a prayer right now, man.
I don't know. I mean, Kazuya does have the devil gene. I don't know if a prayer's gonna save him.
Apparently.
Apparently it does. Chris, never mind. I take it all back. You're built different. He's just side being. How are you alive?
How are you alive, man?
Don't change it. He went for it. I respect it. That would have killed, and he was at 160. I'm perfectly fine with that trade. And it's almost even.
Oh my god.
Actually, I would consider this even. Kazuya needs one
Yeah.
opening, and he's dead here. Because of Rage Drive. Because
Yeah.
that move is disgusting.
Oh my gosh,
Honestly, and he's dead.
Okay.
Nice. Nice Chris. Nice Chris.
Oh.
Honestly, the way I judge of whether I think people are going to die to Rage Drive or not is by the color of their percent. If it is anything towards the orange part, they're probably dead. And the worst part is it's fairly accurate.
So, welcome to camping.
Yup.
Even though Chris is not a camping character right now, he is camping.
See, the thing is with Chris is that, yeah, his character might not be incredibly amazing at it, but Chris just has such good neutral, and Kazuya's neutral really isn't that good. I mean, yes, if he lands that one hit, you're probably dead, but getting that hit is difficult for Kazuya, and Chris is just so good at out-nooching people that he's actually doing very well here.
Yes, this is like absolutely incredible gameplay. Almost, he's so close to evening this up, and this is why we said we have no idea how this match is gonna go.
And, oh, how are you alive, Chris? You're so past kill percent.
Kazuya's kills percent. Let's be frankly clear about this.
Honestly, not really. Does land a solid kill move. If that was like a back air, I don't know. I don't even know if that would kill because Kazuya is just that heavy. He is the 8th heaviest character in this game. Fun fact. But-
So if you did not hear, that was Chris popping off. The first.
And you know what? He freaking deserves it.
100% does.
That is a deserved pop off, Chris. That was very well played against
This
Kazuya freaking Mishima.
This is literally, that was A+, like S tier. S tier gameplay.
That was very good, very good Kazuya counterplay. And now guess what? You get to play against another DLC character.
Hey.
Have fun.
Hey, regardless of what Chris, like regardless of the outcome, Chris could go there and like mention anything. He could talk to anyone on anyone on the team, like any GLEC team, any member from that, and be like, I took 3 stocks and only lost 1 against Kazuya from Mannchester.
He doesn't even have to specify for Manchester. You can just say I 3-1 to Kazuya, and people are gonna be like, whoa.
Whoa.
Because doing that is difficult.
Yeah.
That character is a little funky.
Yeah, but regardless, that was incredibly good gameplay. Like,
Yep.
can't specify that enough.
That was very
amazing.
well played. Chris basically what he did is realize that Kazuya's neutral is not very good. Kazuya only needs 1-2 openings to kill you.
Yes.
But he needs to get those openings, and the way he gets them are not super great. So what Chris did is basically just said, all right, I'm going to maximize the amount of neutral interactions that are going to happen in this game, and I am going to win them. And I am better at out-nooching you. And he was, so he won, and it was very well played. And now he has to go against either a Speeve or a Terry.
My assumption is I think the Terry's going in. Genuinely, I think they're gonna want to anchor with the Steve.
I think they might throw in the Steve here because Keegan is oddly good at the Steve matchup.
Fair enough.
He doesn't understand it either of why he's good at it, but he is.
I was just
And
think-
we don't question it.
We don't question it.
Like, we need someone here who is good at the Steve matchup because all of us play characters who are not good against him.
If you, as you obviously could not see, because he is off camera, Spencer just raised his hand for being good against Steve.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's true or not.
I feel like Steve Roy would be very volatile because each one, if you hit each other, you're gonna do a lot of damage. But I feel like Steve probably wins that trade just because of how early he can kill. But you know, all this Steve talk is for naught because they are throwing in the Terry for now. So
Yep, you were right.
You'll have to wait a little bit to see that Speeve, but instead you get a Terry.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is probably the weaker of the three characters.
Of the three, it's the only one that can't instant touch to death you, but that does not mean he is weak by any means. Terry definitely has a lot of things and is a very strong character.
Mm-hmm. No, obviously not saying that he is weak, since we are scared to death of this Terry. We are scared to death of their entire roster. As we can see, there is camping going on.
Yep, because I mean we've talked about it in other streams. We talked about it even earlier today. But getting close to these fighting game characters is what they want you to do. That's how they get. It's how they get their bread. But Captain Falcon also needs to get close, so he is just picking his options very well, actually.
Yeah, a very good choice. Taking that 50% and instead managing to do that. Unfortunately, he did read the.
And yep, does misinput the up B as a side B. He was trying to get up B max strip to the left, and understandably does kind of mess it up. I do that every once in a while, but does take 30 from a jab because it's Terry. But hey, at least it isn't 80 like it would be from Kazuya.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he might be dead here.
No.
Oh, just barely. Spaces that up B very well. Because if you don't know, it's actually quite difficult to get Terry's up B to snap ledge. You have to space it quite well. It's almost like Martha Lucina's, where it has to be spaced just right to snap. So his recovery can be quite exploitable there, but manages to space it right, and now he does have his cheat mechanic, and he's dead.
What?
DI of the gods. Just get one, Chris. Just get one.
He's
And he
dead.
might get it here. Nice!
That
Yep.
does not go in the missed down air counter.
Yeah, I was just talking about Terry's up B is quite easy to exploit because of that. It's very you can't punish that. You can't punish that, Chris. If they do it perfectly right, it can be plus on shield.
Yep.
Fun fact: if they do that power dive just right, it can actually be plus on shield.
Lovely. That's lovely.
Yep.
Like he needs it.
Yep.
So, seeing there, Chris just did the wrong get up from ledge, and unfortunately that did take him down right there.
Yep.
We only have one option to send in.
And I mean, it's not a terrible option, but it is going to be difficult because these are
Yep.
These are characters,
These are characters.
and they are characters who make it very hard to make comebacks on.
Yep.
Because they hit you once and have fun. You're at 80 now. Woo!
But then again, the person who we are sending in, very good at camping. Very good on our team.
It's true.
Very good in the conference.
That is true as well. Yeah. I would say he's fairly decent.
He is very good. You cannot say he's fairly
Well,
decent.
I don't know about amazing. Yep. So.
No, if you know who we are talking about, our lovely caster, who does not really cast anymore, but
That's because he's too busy playing the game.
he is too busy playing the game. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, he's too busy actually putting in the work instead of just sitting in the chair and talking. But we are sending in a Keegan.
Yes, and most likely we know what he's gonna go.
He better. You better go the Samus. Okay, good. Good, Keegan. Because no Greninja. I'm not dealing with that.
And no Fox either.
Absolutely not.
There was a funny off-stream moment, off-gameplay moment.
See,
where-
I actually have a plan regarding this, by the way. But Keegan and I, after the last stream, had a bit of a side bet, and we did a best of 5 of his Fox, and I won, so he has to hold that, and which is why we're saying no to Fox in this. So if I can beat it, you can get cheesed by DLC. So no.
Most certainly would he get cheese. I
think he would,
yes.
because DLC.
Yes. And we know,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think he should go that option.
Also, I feel like Fox is very, very easy for Steve to combo just because of how much vertical combo Steve has and how fast of a faller Fox is.
Yes.
Literally the fastest faller in the game.
Fun fact. Like he needed it.
I mean, he kind of does. It does help him live longer off of the top, but it does make recovering quite a little bit more difficult since he falls a lot faster.
Mhm.
But
His recovery is so weird.
yep, his recovery is quite linear.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Falco's actually goes farther because of how much more floaty Falco is. Firebird actually goes farther than Firefox.
Wow.
It's kind of funky. But we will not be seeing any of those characters right now. Thank goodness we're not seeing the Keegan Fox, because I would have walked into that room and slapped him. But we will be seeing Keegan's coveted Samus.
Yes. And Terry does have to take die once here. He has to lose 1 stock just because Chris did get that +1. That's the main goal. Even though we were down, our main goal was just to get the +1. So welcome to camp again.
Yep. But this time, it's a character who's actually good at it. And he's dead here, isn't he? Oh, just barely misses the 0 to death. Just barely. That was very close and does take quite a bit of damage for it. Yeah, that's the thing. Terry might not have those touch to death, I hit you once, you're dead. But he does definitely have a lot of very devastating combos. But really nice SDI by Keegan to get through that. There's certain ways that you can SDI power dive to actually avoid it if they do it just barely misspaced. And Keegan definitely utilizing that does get out of it.
Oh, barely not dead.
This ledge trap is going to be so difficult for Terry to get around. Having a lack of range and having a kind of linear recovery is going to be so good for Keegan to exploit.
Oh, very nice there. Using the ledge to juke Terry out. Unfortunately, he is dead.
Yep, he is dead. He got jabbed.
He is very dead.
Yeah, but he is at 150, so can take the stock fairly early. But again, we are at a stock deficit, so we do not want to take these trades.
So Terry is very high percentage right now. Coming from this lovely standpoint, Keegan needs to get this kill. He is He is.
Yeah,
Please kill.
he is cheating.
Keegan, please kill.
He has his cheat mechanic, and you're almost dead.
Keegan, please kill him.
See, Keegan, can you kill him and then 0 to death him so then you can go into the Steve with 2 stocks instead of 1? And nice kill here. Does catch him out of the Buster Wolf, and now he does not have his go mechanics yet, but it is actually quite likely, unless you get a Gimp, that Terry is going to get to 100. And again, we see that SDI going in, just going through the power dive to avoid it.
Unfortunately, missing his attempt to punish there.
And again, is avoiding the power dives. This is so good.
I don't know. Well, once again, we are saying Keegan is living on a prayer right now.
Yeah. But this time there is not a devil on the screen, so you know it might work. Nice forward off ledge, does catch before the downer can hit him. Keegan's just trying to rack on damage right now, and he's doing a really nice job about it, because it can be difficult for Terry to get in against Samus, but this is dead.
Yep, that was dead.
Yep, you saw that time the Terry went for the up B as opposed to the down B, the power dive, just because Keegan had been getting out of it so effectively.
Yep. Knowing likely Terry was not willing to use that. Keegan, you just need to kill him at 100.
Average case of Samus's up smash not functioning. You know, I don't know if like any of us here actually play functional characters, but That forward air actually functioned and did
Yes.
take the stock, yet unfortunately at the cost of 2, so the only way we are winning this round is if Keegan 3-stocks as Steve, which 3-stocking as Steve is incredibly difficult just because of the raw damage output.
Yeah. This has been some fun matches.
Yeah, it is going to be very difficult for Keegan to bring this back, but it is not impossible yet. He still has a stock to work with, which means it is doable.
It is doable. It will not be easy.
Hey, the stock is what matters. As long as you have the stock, that's what's important.
Ugh.
That is the special thing about Smash Bros. You could die at 0 or you could die at a 210. It is the stock that matters.
Here is a question. I'm not sure if you know the answer because both of us are freshmen. Do you know if they have ever taken a game against a match against?
Yes.
They have. I
Yes.
see.
I do believe so.
Was it only with Josh or was it with?
I believe currently, as of last semester, I believe we are 1-1 with Mannchester, like overall, all time. So this one actually will kind of decide who is up in that best of 3 category.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
yeah, they are definitely a difficult team to beat.
So they have, because we don't know Valpo has been top 2 in GLEC for, not like last semester, but has been in the past.
Yeah, we have been in the past. We have gotten second. I believe it was last year's second semester, so it's basically the semester before we got here. I
Yes.
do believe I have that timing right.
Yes.
I believe so. Alright, cool. Yeah. I got my history lessons. Okay, I remember more of that than my actual history lessons.
I will admit history is quite boring.
Especially when you have a teacher that use Google in the final, but anyway. But
Anyway, as you can see,
I
there's
did
an
call out
Enderman
I
on
did call
screen.
out the Enderman. But this I actually know who this player is. I know his tag. And he does sometimes show up to my home region tournaments, so that's how I knew he was an Enderman. But his tag is actually a Fleetwood Mac, which when I first heard it, I thought he was a Little Mac main. Actually, it's not. It's not Fleetwood Mac. It's just Fleetwood. That's why I thought it was a Mac player. And then he picked Steve, and I was like, what the world is going on?
And then you learned about who he was, and you're like, oh, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, I first heard his tag and thought he was a Mac main. And then someone was like, no, he plays Steve, and then I was sad. And tries to get the combo off the wall there, but not quite. Still have gotten 4 hits on him, and he's at 33 with wood tools because he's broken.
Like, he needs it.
Oh, nice
no,
down air there, but
He does have a diamond, though, which is not the best thing that we're looking for.
Yeah,
Keegan
but-
has done quite a bit of damage, though. Unfortunately, he has taken quite a bit of damage as well.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but that Steve, what he did is he ran up to the crafting table, he jumped up, but then went back down through the platform and grabbed, trying to bait Keegan into coming in and calling him out for trying to craft. So he was trying to bait Keegan into it, but Keegan not falling for it.
He has diamond tools right now, which is unfortunate for Keegan.
Which means he's probably at death percent.
Yep, he is at death percent. Speaking
Yup.
of death percent.
But nice there. Very nice. Keegan is keeping him out quite well. The problem is all of this damage is pretty much permanent as he is on his last stock still.
Yep.
Nice reverse hit of Nair though.
That's death.
That is a stock. You know, it's difficult, but it's possible. Again, it's the stock is what matters. Keegan could technically live till 300, but as long as he still has that stock, that's all that matters.
If so, that Steve is going to claim hacks probably. if Keegan somehow lived to 300, I would call hacks. I would be like, Keegan, were you hacking?
Hey, you know, I'd be okay with it. No, I wouldn't, but still, it'd be funny. But that's the thing here. Keegan is definitely at kill percent. A lot of Steve's moves, just look at how far that minecart sent him from cross stage. He really can't afford to get hit by any meaningful impact. And there's a meaningful impact.
That is a
So
meaningful impact.
did do quite a bit of work. Took out the Terry as well as the stock off the Steve, but we do go down in the first round.
But you do have to admit that even after being with Alex being 3-stocked as Link, you still see Mannchester being brought down to 2 stocks, which
Exactly.
is an amazing comeback still.
That is true. They did have a lead of 3 stocks, and we managed to bring it down to 2. So
Yeah.
we were going positive. So all we need is just this next round, just reset. Now we know what we're getting ourselves into even more than before. We knew what we were getting ourselves into beforehand, but that was just words. Now we've seen it, now we've played against it, and now we can use that to try to do even better next round.
Yes, so now we have a lot of interesting choices, because we don't know who they're sending in. They don't know who we're sending in, but the more important fact is we do not know who they are sending in.
I am assuming that they're going to pick the same order, because I believe they have done that before in most of their matches, I believe. And then also just the Kazuya did do quite a bit of work, so I am assuming them to throw in the Kazuya.
Yeah. In my opinion, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess, but that does mean that depending on if we think we're sending in first, that would be probably not the best choice.
I can actually see it being good here, because now that he knows what he's getting himself into, knows how to play it. He might do a fair amount better.
Okay. Alright. It's just a very tough matchup. Like, all of these 3 are incredibly tough matchups.
Yeah, all of these are tough matchups just because of how extremely volatile just these characters are. It's not, at this point, it's not even just the matchup. It is the character in of itself. It is these characters are always so volatile.
Yes. And the first entire, what is it called? The first entire game that just took place, 34 minutes. So we are probably going a bit longer than average.
I mean, that's what you got to do against a lot of these characters, especially against Kazuya and Terry. Just trying to keep them away, that tends to slow down the match in turn, but sometimes that's just what you got to do.
Yep, unfortunately, that's kind of what they have to do. Like you're just saying, I'm just reiterating what you're saying.
Exactly, because a lot of these slower characters, like the fighting game characters, especially on Kazuya, because Terry does have some zone breaks, but mainly on Kazuya, but in general, these types of characters don't need very many hits to kill you.
They don't.
So what that means is, because you're neutral is better, but they need less interactions to win. But because your neutral is better, you're going to be winning more. So what you want to do is maximize the amount of neutral interactions that you have, because you're going to win more of them than they are. So that is why Alex is slowing down the game. That's why Chris is slowing down the game.
That's why Keegan's slowing down the game.
Well, Keegan just kind of does that because it's Samus, but yes, he is still slowing down the game more than he normally does, just because he wants to maximize the amount of neutral interactions to maximize his chance of getting as much damage on as possible.
Yeah, and so regardless if we play 2 more games or 1 more game, they are going to be much slower, and it's going to be like 30 minutes, like, again.
Unless Chris just games again. I wouldn't mind seeing that personally, but
I don't think any of us would mind seeing Chris game again. If I could hear Chris scream from the other room, that if it's a good scream, not a bad scream, we would prefer that.
Hey, no, I'll take it. Either way, it's content. But yeah, we are hoping to bring it to a round 3, which, if that does happen, which means this set will go even longer, but hey, the longer this set goes, actually, the better for us, as we talked about beforehand. So, you know what? I'll take it. That is a trade-off I'm willing to take.
You are willing to talk more. It's not very hard for him, though.
At the expense of the Twitch, I am willing to talk more at the expense of their sanity and ours.
And also Mike's sanity. We gotta admit that.
I'm pretty sure Mike's sanity has been gone for a while. It was gone the moment I got on Mike the first time.
And then I came in, and I'm just like slightly making his life a little bit less.
Trying to.
Yep.
And I just tried to stop you. But speaking of trying to stop people, Alex is gonna try to slow down this Kazuya and stop him from doing this. but does get away from it, and Kraus dashes towards him aggressively at Mach 2 anyway.
Yep,
Because he needs it.
of course.
Because Kazuya needs to have an intangible approach option that dashes him across the stage.
Ooh,
Actually, I like that uppy attempt, and didn't even get punished for it. That would have killed if it landed. So I do like that option.
It was a very good option from Alex. It almost worked. Let's be frankly honest, it almost worked.
I like what Alex is doing here, because we talked about how much he's slowing the game down, but also, you're noticing how much he's going above Kazuya. Kazuya doesn't have the best juggling options. I mean, that up air is good. It is definitely good. It's intangible on certain parts and very fast startup, but, you know, he's slow. He's slow on the ground, and he has a slower jump squat. So juggling is going to be very difficult for him. So we'll see him going above Kazuya quite a bit, but does lose the stock to Rage Drive.
Yeah, but that is kind of expected. As long as he gets at least one stock, that puts him above previous responses.
Yep, and that's really all we needed, really. So, because that one stock there might have mean that Chris didn't have lost his stock and would have gone into Terry, and it all sprinkles down from there. But all we really need is just one more stock. That mentality is so important in crew battles.
Kazuya is at 142%. Basically, a good smash attack here will kill.
Doesn't need it.
Oh,
Yeah, he does make it back. That's the thing.
He's not making it back from that though.
Yeah, it is actually. It's quite difficult to determine whether Kazuya has used his up B or his jump. But a good rule of thumb is generally they will up B first and then use their jump, as their up B doesn't put them in special fall. But I believe that an actual mechanic is that characters who don't have their double jump will admit smoke sometimes. So sometimes you can tell, but it can be difficult to determine.
Very good DI from Alex there.
Yeah, the fact that he is alive still is quite impressive.
This entire team is probably like freaking out because this is like probably best matchup they've probably gone against. This season has been started out.
And Boomerang saved him, and never mind, he combos off of it anyway because it's Kazuya.
Yep. There's a lot of screaming going on right now.
I believe it. I can't hear it myself, but I definitely believe
yeah,
it.
because you got the nice rig headset. Yep. Unfortunately.
Yep. That wasn't sweet spot, by the way.
Yep. That makes sense.
And it still killed it.
Yeah.
70.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Fun fact, in Kazuya's reveal trailer, the sweet spot of his S smash was compared to Falcon Punch. Because he needs it.
Yeah.
Yep, but Alex did do better than last time already. So, although all that damage that he did rack up on the second stock is wiped clean, he did manage to get that first stock still, which is, again, better than first round, which does set him up for a better position at least.
Yes, it does set him up for a better position for Chris. And if Chris does exactly what he did last time.
Please do that again. I mean, you did it once, why not again?
If you do it again, I think the entirety of the Smash team will just freak out.
If you do it again, I'll give you a high five. I don't know what you want from me. I'm a college student. I don't have much money. But
we are quite broke.
I'll be happy for you.
We will love to hear your screams. It would be awesome. And not the bad screams, like he's dying. I feel like we need to reiterate that. But like he screams whenever he wins.
I don't know. I feel like
really
whether he wins or loses, it's the same scream.
It's very different.
He has to play the game. He's not happy. He's fine.
I feel like you have never really heard his screams back to back.
Yeah, I have.
Yes, you have, but you've never heard the difference.
Yes, I have. The thing is, he's never happy that he has to play the game.
Yes, that is correct.
Which means
but there is a difference in his screams.
Yes, I know.
Okay. You're just fighting with me for the sake of fighting with me. Okay.
Yes. But
cool.
I believe it should be Chris coming in. They haven't changed the character, but it should be, just so he can do what he did last time yet again. I would love to see him do that again. That would even it up quite nicely, actually, for to take some stocks.
Yes. Definitely makes her some good content.
Yep, and it does look like we are going to a different stage than last time that we saw. So this might pay off, and it might not. We are going to Le Hollow Bastion.
they are very talkative out there, very loud as well.
I believe it, and it's understandable.
But you cannot hear. um, so regarding this, this Kazuya most likely expected us to send in the Captain Falcon, send in Chris.
As we did beforehand, so. And that's 50. You got hit 3 times.
DLC character mode.
Woo! But Chris has shown that he can play against this before, and, you know, this might be an opening for himself.
Unfortunately, not getting the down air. He has tried that several times against this Kazuya, and it just has not worked for him.
It is a good thing to go for, though. He's not getting punished for it, and that Captain Falcon down air is surprisingly large until you look at the hitbox. Like, it is a very large move, and Kazuya's up B can be exploitable, so definitely no harm in trying for it.
So, Chris is living on a prayer once again.
Yeah, he's past kill percent.
That was just a misinput from the Kazuya.
Yeah, Chris passed 100, therefore he's past kill percent.
Yep. So now he's really got to make sure Kazuya does not hit his special move.
And he's not dead, but Chris could be dead to a single hit here. If Kazuya gets the right hit, it can be a true combo into death with that rage drive.
Yep, that rage drive is very scary, and we see why Chris is playing some good neutral.
So, fun facts about the rage drive. Okay, so not only does it power up his down B, which makes that a lot stronger, as we've seen before, it gives his, of course, okay, anyway, but it gives his moves a 1.1 damage multiplier, and it has no timer on it. However, it does have like a counter on it. It has like values. I'm not sure of the exact values since I'm not a Kazuya player, but the more he like whiffs the moves that would lead into his rage drive, like whiffs down Bs and stuff, that counter goes down. So he can actually run out of rage drive, but not via timer.
That does not go on the missed down air counter. He manages to do it, but he is incredibly high percent right now. He needs a 0 to death right now. That is what Chris needs, and Chris knows it.
Yep, and he is dead.
Yep. Unfortunately, that is death for Chris. That Kazuya is using his laser eyes very effectively.
His brain blast. I like to call it the brain blast. It is very funny to me, but nice.
That's death? Nope.
Nope. It is not death, as that was all the way across stage. If that was just a little, if that was closer to the other direction, it would have been the stock. But Kazuya knows that he can kind of sit back. As I said, there's no timer on that down B, on that rage drive, so he can just sit back and just wait for his opportunity.
Chris is...
Tries to go for the nair and just barely misses.
Misinput from the Kazuya back. Oh, this is very tense.
Does call him out for his jump. That didn't kill. This character is too chunky.
Oh, he is at 100 and nice percent.
He's both of them are past kill percent.
Yeah.
That's a little cursed, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Chris can definitely die here, especially because factoring in rage.
Yep.
This Kazuya is now at max rage, and he's not even dead to this down tilt.
Oh my god.
Chris could have died there.
Yeah, he could have.
Nice Falcon kick. That will kill.
That is death.
Oh man, Chris.
Keegan was very stressed during that.
I was very stressed during that.
We were all very stressed during that.
I don't have to play.
Yes.
And I was stressed during that.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes, and the Smash team is very loud.
Yeah, we tend to do that.
No, I just kept hearing Keegan's voice get significantly higher pitched.
Yep. Every red screen, his voice raises an octave.
Yeah, it kept getting higher pitched. He almost hit the octave my voice is at.
Hey,
it was shocking.
If Chris would have gotten enough red screens, which I don't recommend because that means leaving Kazuya to live, but if he would have gotten enough red screens, Keegan might have gotten to the might have gotten to the pitch where only dogs could hear him.
Maybe.
That would make commentary very difficult for him, though. If
It
just
would.
only the dogs in the living rooms can hear it. For people who put it up on their TV in their living room, only the dogs can hear the commentary. The dogs are sitting there laughing at the commentary, and the people are like, "What is going on?" And how they sometimes have separate streams for different languages or something. They just have a separate stream just for Keegan, so it's just the dog stream, just for the pets. We should do that.
At this rate, Keegan's gonna come in here.
Mike just gave me the most disappointed look.
Mike's very disappointed in you.
You know, he's not the only one. It's fine. It's fine. You're not the only one. But hopefully that is not the only stock that Chris is taking, because he still has more to go.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he still has to play this game. He is not happy about it, but
Yeah.
here we are.
To be frankly honest, all he does really need to do is take 2 stocks.
Yeah, taking 2 stocks here will mean that we are back to even, assuming that Chris does not lose his 1. But, you know, if Chris does take 2, they're still in the game still. So,
Yes.
no matter what, one of these fighters is falling here.
Yes.
So, Chris will have to 3-stock this Terry for Chris to come out on top. But as long as he can take at least 1, even 2 stocks, that's not a bad position for Chris or Keegan to do some work.
Yes. So, we are going to watch Keegan Falcon kick his way off Keegan. Chris the Falcon
Yep.
dive himself off
But-
the ledge.
Hey, come on. So, again, as we talked about before, Chris is just trying to pick his openings against these fighting game characters, these close range characters. Picking your openings is so important as Captain Falcon here, because you also need to get close to him. So, really utilizing that shield really well, just trying to pick his openings. Where is he going to go in? Where is there a chance to get some damage? And hasn't found too many yet, as he's taken 84. Terry's damage output is actually really good, although as we talked about
He has not
before,
gotten any really good combos out either, unfortunately, for
Yeah.
Chris. Yep, not really a good chance to even punish there, because he knows that Terry's just gonna get up and start jabbing.
Yep, I do like that adaptation though, because in the prior round, Chris was getting hit by the low end lag of that power dive, but as we see here, again, that Terry had been doing that power dive into jab again and again, and this time Chris held shield for it, but unfortunately it did poke.
Yep, it did poke
Nice down
through.
tilt. I respect the attempt. You know, you're at high percents, you got to make a play, and he's dead.
Yep, that is unfortunate.
Yep, as we talked about, that power dive there has such insanely low end lag that it can actually be plus on shield.
Keegan is in a very bad spot right now.
Yep.
He has to take 6 stocks total.
This is a very dangerous position for Keegan to be in. This is gonna be difficult.
Yeah, especially since that Steve was able to take quite. I don't remember. He went in with 1 stock against the Steve, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Steve, he did play very well against the Steve. He was almost close to getting that 2nd stock at one point.
The thing is now he has to go through the Terry first too.
Yes.
So even if he does go through the Terry, it might very well be a repeat of the last round of going in with 1 stock left, if he even gets there.
Yeah, but we are hoping to hear a pop off, not.
A pop off would be nice. A reason to pop off would be good. I would appreciate it.
Yes. This has been a little bit of a downer match out of the 3.
Yep.
We did see Chris come incredibly well with, do incredibly well with the Kazuya, and then we did see, but that Terry did really wear Keegan down.
Yep. I mean, as we talked about before, I mean, we talked about the characters plenty before. How they're volatile, they'll do tons of damage and kill off of stray hits. Talked about it all before, but again, we also have to say these are good players. It is not like we are getting absolutely cheesed by characters. I mean, it's not like that isn't happening, but it is not solely that. These are good players behind the characters as well, so it's going to be difficult for Keegan to make this comeback, but, you know, god dang it, he's going to try.
He is going to try. Very excited to see how this match goes. Hopefully it does not end in disappointment, but
Why not? But it is definitely going to be an up. It was going to be an uphill battle already, but it is.
it was an uphill build.
It is a steep slope now for Keegan to get this done, but
It was an uphill battle from the very beginning.
it's nothing we haven't seen Keegan do before.
We've seen him do it against weaker opponents, though.
Hey, you know, it's possible. Again, as long as you have the stock, it's possible.
It is possible, yes.
No matter how unfeasible, it is possible.
Yes. Keegan waiting down that timer.
Giving him visions of what is to come.
Oh boy.
3, 2, 1, go!
So the best thing Keegan can do right now is only take one stock against Terry. Is only be like taken one stock from Terry.
Yep.
Unfortunately, quite a lot of damage right now.
Yep, that is something Terry does very well, as we talked about. He is not one of the touch to death characters. The one out of the 3 that isn't a touch to death character on Mannchester's roster, but that does not mean his damage output is by any means low.
Yes, and as we can see right there, within 30 seconds, Keegan is already at 82%.
I mean, to be fair, this Terry is also at 83 in that same amount of time. Keegan actually needing less time to do that amount of damage, but trying to catch his recoveries. Again, Terry's one of Terry's biggest weaknesses. His range and his recoveries are very exploitable, but that damage and kill power is not one of his weaknesses, as shown there.
Nope, especially at ledge, you can immediately tell that he is dead.
Yup.
With the high percentage, trying to get some free charge shot off. Terry does have go though. That is not good for Keegan.
Yep, this Terry does have his cheating mechanic of go. Power wave. He's sneezing now. There's a voice line that Terry can do when he vows Power Wave that does sound like Achu. So I like to say that he is sneezing, but does take 50 from getting jabbed. Simply should not have gotten jabbed by the fastest option. Yep, simply shouldn't have.
He is at kill percent, but no kill moves have really been landed.
Just barely. I believe that was a sour spot back air. I think if that was sweet spot back air, that would have killed even across that stage.
Most likely it would have, or at least been very close.
Yeah, but all Keegan really needs is just one opening to land a fairly solid hit the right direction, but trying to find it's difficult. There it is.
Unfortunately, though, Keegan is at 77%. This is not leaving him in a good spot, especially against that potential Steve player.
Yep, was not in the position to go for the 0 to death there, but does almost land it. Quite a bit of damage either way. And it's almost back to even again. Keegan's playing this really well, just racking up damage here.
Seeing this against that Terry is trying to play very safe, but he is not getting it.
Does go through the bomb there. Does the charge input of his up B to get the intangibility frames while recovering off stage.
Keegan's shield was slightly poked there, but Terry was not able to get that combo off at all.
Nice. This is a lot of damage, but if he can't steal the stock, Terry will.
Ooh, just barely dodging that thing, and he's dead. Terry
Very
is down.
nice. Very nice. That was really nice, because remember, he started that stock at 77, and he managed to take the stock first, so.
Terry, can you give us a bone, please?
Terry, can you have your down tilt not hit behind you?
That's out, yep.
Does take another stock off Keegan, so it looks like best case scenario, Keegan is going into the Steve with one stock again.
Yep.
And, why does it keep happening? Why does it keep happening of where we lose our stock and then immediately take it?
Yep.
Took it at 0.
Yep.
That is so unfortunate. But
Ugh.
Either way, no matter what, that stock was taken, so Keegan does have to go in against this Steve with only one stock left.
Yeah, that is.
That is
Please,
unfortunate.
Keegan. I would kind of like to keep casting. I would love.
Although it would mean that I'd have to see some more Kazuya and Steve gameplay, let's bring it to round 3.
Let's bring it to round 3.
It's gonna be difficult, but
Yes.
you know,
He was very close to. I think he was very close
Yep.
to taking 2 stocks off that. Steve.
he was that. Although that one stock from the Terry was going to be really important there, but
Yeah, it would have been absolutely incredible if he was
just
able to keep that.
barely managed to lose it. Even though immediately taking the stock, it's 0.
Yes.
But
Um,
it is what it is. That stock is gone, so you're gonna have to 3-stock the Steve to bring it to a round 3.
Yeah. Oh. Very stressful, and you can. Thinking about this, Keegan is most likely heavily thinking right now, as well as the Steve player, as going to small battlefields.
He is going to my favorite legal stage, yes. Although he didn't pick music, so you know I'm a little disappointed. But hey, you know, make up for it by 3-stocking the Steve. How about that?
Ugh.
I'll forgive the lack of Xenoblade. If you just 3-stock the Steve, you know what? I'll allow it.
Otherwise, he is going to go after you, Keegan. You do realize this. I hope you realize this.
No, I'll just be sad. But I mean, we're gonna find out whether Keegan's gonna make up for it here relatively soon. We have picked stages, just waiting for them to pick their stage as well. They're probably picking music. You know, you gotta pick your music counter pick. It's important. But we are getting into it, so going to have to 3-stock this Steve to get this to a round 3. Gonna be very difficult, but you know, as long as you got that stock, and you know what, I'll allow it. Did do ring-a-ding. I'll allow it.
All right.
Setting off the game. And again, since he has the 3-stock to Steve, all this damage is basically permanent, is what he's sitting at here. So, going to be very difficult with Steve's damage and kill power, like the other characters on their roster, is nowhere near low.
Yep, and Ari taking 36 damage. That's going to carry out into every single stock of Steve's, regardless of what Keegan does.
Yep, this percent that Keegan has is effectively permanent here, but trying to just rack up the damage in turn on the Steve.
Steve has still not found a diamond, but he does have stone tools, and there's his first diamond.
Yep, diamond is pretty late in the material order there, so does have to mine quite a bit to get it, but does get it in the order, because on the battlefield stages, the order is predeterminedly set, but on other stages, like the Animal Crossing stages that aren't specifically battlefield or those types of stages, they do actually get certain materials more than others. It depends on the material of the stage. So like Tannin City, they will get more wood because the stage is made out of wood. That also changes what tool they use when they mine.
Yep.
So
There is a lot of thought put into characters like Steve. Unfortunately, though, there is a lot of thought that we wish they did not have.
see, that's the thing. I really like how Steve was implemented. Actually, I think the ideas that they had and how they implemented it is absolutely cool. They just made him broken.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it sad for me because this character is funny and there's a lot of heart in it, so I do like it. But Keegan's trying to put his heart into this game, trying to get this Steve, but is not able to do it. That minecart killed that 103 before the hit.
Yep. Unfortunately, right there. So that is putting this game down for right now.
Yep.
But we will be back in about half an hour.
Yep, we will be back in about half an hour for our doubleheader match against Bethel this time. So, although we did end in a bit of a loss here, sadly, they are again the best team in the conference. They are seed number 1. So, we're going to try to balance this out with a win against Bethel later today. So make sure to tune in for that. It will be in about half an hour. So we will see you guys then as we take a little bit of a break before we have to cast yet again.
Before we die of stress.
Hopefully this next one won't be as stressful, but we will find out in half an hour, and we'll see you then.
All right, see you then.